So this would be the location. Do it really a rough shape, and you're gonna make the judgment and say, okay, is that what I want to continue, right? If it's not in the perfect location, if it doesn't really look good enough for you, you should change it right in this step. I want to see your change too. Okay, right over here, and I do like that, so I'm gonna draw a little bit more. If you can use the measurement to double check, please do that in this step. So I'm gonna have it right, and then come out a little bit on this side. Okay, here you go. Now the catch the shadow is about this location, turning, and this come out, and then connect that on this side. That's the time for you to use the look and draw process. Now roughly, I already find out the location of all this. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw it. Okay, here you go, 1 inch at a time, and look at it. Okay, like this. Okay, coming in a little bit. Here you go, and so on. So you can use this time to make it a little bit more accurate. It's very important. And look before you draw it. Okay, come up. Okay, and over here, right over here, and coming here, look at the detail. And everyone can draw this if you have the patience and their interest. And then double check the shape of the cast shadow. And come back a little bit. That's good. Look first. Okay, right over here, connect it. Have a little bit very soft shape over here, like that. Now, I finished the shape. Now I need to divide it into light side and the shadow side. How I'm going to do that? And look at first, proportionally. So I'm just going to draw the dividing line between the light side and the shadow side. Coming over here, look at that. First, look before you draw, like that. And coming down to the bottom. So now divide it into the light side and the shadow side. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I will need to make the shadow side and the light side into the proper value contrast. Okay? Now I'm going to have it like this. This is the shadow side. And make it a little flat color, that's fine, right? And have a little cast the shadow over here. I'm gonna put it over here too. And now come to the cast the shadow. It needs to be a little bit darker than the shadow side. I'm gonna put it like that. Make it flat. Okay. Here you go. Here you go. Now almost finished the flat color for the 3 areas, and that will be fine. And the outside over here also going to make a little background color. So the light side will look a little bit lighter. Like this. You can do that on your sketchbook. You can do that on any paper that you have. They're probably a little bit too much. I can use the paper towel or the blender. You can blend it and then make it a little bit lighter. Now I'm looking at the light side. It actually is not so light because different from just the white materials. And I'm going to make this also. It's supposed to be a little bit darker because it looked like a little darker materials. Now I'm going to make the shadow side even a little bit darker to create the distance create the contrast. Now I'm gonna, now that's good. Okay, now between the light side, shadow side, and catch the shadow, is in the flat value, but is in the approximately correct contrast. Does that make sense? Right? Now, what's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm also going to make that a little clear, and the background here, it needs to be a little bit flat, like that. Like that. What's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to look into each of the area to create the variation. It's a smaller shape. Now, look at the top over here. It's a little bit darker. I'm going to make this a little bit darker inside the shadow side. And I'm looking at this area here too, and on the shadow side, a little bit darker of the stem. Now coming down over here, looks like a little bit darker over here too. Okay, now I'm going to use the eraser. This area is actually a little bit lighter. I'm going to use the nitty eraser, make it a little bit lighter over here. A very simple technique. You can create the difference between the light area and the darker areas inside the same big area. Now I have this a little bit difference, and also on this side, it's a little bit lighter. You can use the nitty eraser, make it a little bit lighter, like that. Now inside the shadow side, now it looks a little bit more interesting. Now I'm looking at the light side. The light side over here, it actually here, it's a little bit darker at the top over here. I'm going to make this a little bit darker. And then I can see that there is a highlight over here. Now I'm going to put the highlight, look at the location one more time. Now there's a little bit lighter. And then coming over here, I have a little light shade like this way. And there's a little bit lighter too. Right? Now the light side have a little bit more interesting. And also on here, I also have a little bit coming through, a little bit also, a little bit gradually have a transition. Coming like that, and have a little bit darker in this area, like that. And now I'm looking into the catch the shadow. And when you look in the catch the shadow, the bottom over here is just much darker. So I'm going to make it a lot darker right at this area. Now you see, it's supposed to be very relaxing, because you are making one small decisions at every single step. Like that. And now looking at the outside over here, is supposed to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to just use my palm and make this a little bit softer. A little bit lighter. Like that. And now you look back to it. Is anything else I need to adjust? Make the relationship look a little bit better. I think down here, it needs to be a little bit darker over here, because a little bit away from the light. So I'm going to blend it. I don't want that much texture. So I'm going to make it a little bit softer. Like that. Now double check between the light side and the shadow side. Okay. No matter how light the reflection in the shadow side, it should not be lighter than the light side. Right? The light side is supposed to be always lighter, because it's right in the, it's a direct light coming from the light source. And a little bit darker over here, like that. Here you go. And now I'm going to also give a little highlight on the top over here on the stem. So look at it first, and have a little highlight over here. A little highlight. You see how enjoyable it can be. It's just one little thing at a time, divided into multiple steps, and you can draw anything you want and make it look three-dimensional.